Well, if it's Friday morning, it must be time for the About Mansfield Consumer Advice Series. Appreciate you being here. I'm Steve Casillo, your host, and today it is, because it's Friday morning, it is time to talk about your income, your wealth, your building wealth, your nest egg, your 401k, your retirement. And with that, we always say hello on Friday mornings to Phillip Washington Jr.,
Buenos dias.
CIO, which Chief Investment Officer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Stonehill Wealth Management, based right here in the Mansfield, Arlington, Cedar Hill area. And appreciate you being here today. First of all, you're wearing your Houston Rockets t-shirt. Explain why.
Yes, because I am wishing, hopeful, manifesting that we'll be in the playoffs next year because we're not in there this year. So I'm representing the team even though we're down.
You're from Houston, aren't you?
I'm from Houston, born and raised.
There you go.
I got to enjoy falling in love with basketball around the time when we won our back-to-back championships.
Who were some of the big players back then when you were?
Hakeem the Dream.
Yeah.
Vernon Maxwell's an unappreciated player. He's kind of like Patrick Beverly today. He halfway crazy, but like even Jordan was afraid of Vernon Maxwell because it's a famous story where think of like Patrick Beverly, how crazy he is and how he wants to fight everybody, and he would do that to Jordan, and then after the game he would go up to he went to Jordan and said, "Hey, can you sign my kids basketball?" Like that's kind of throw Sam Cassell. Yeah. We had Drexler for the second team. Barkley came and we didn't win with him, but Barkley was there. Robert Ory, Otis Thorpe, Kenny Smith.
All right, let's go with that. So, I was listening to your podcast this morning, which I do before we do these Friday episodes. And today's topic, which we have integrated into this topic on this episode, is Mo Money, Mo Problems. And which actually derives from a rap song, Mo Money, Mo Problems. And you were talking about, first of all, the difference between symbols and principles, abundance, and how it plays into symbols. Let's, first of all, talk about the symbols and principles and how that plays into the financial world.
Yeah, I think a good analogy that kind of came to me in the interim was, we all have power sources that drive us, to do what we do, right? That fill us up, right? And depending on what power source you plug into, is going to be the dictator of how you express life, right? Any aspect of what you're doing, and so you can choose to have faith in a principle, which is eternal, doesn't change, right? Principles worked 5,000 years ago for people, and they're going to work 2 million years from now for people. Or a symbol, which is a representation, of the principle. So I like to use the example of America. America, the flag is the symbol, right?
Right.
But the principles are one nation, unity, under God, under good, indivisible, right? Harmony, with liberty and justice for all. Like that is America's principles that seeded our great country, and a seed, right, needs time to grow. So people go, oh, but America wasn't. No, I mean, like a tree's not perfect in the beginning, but I don't know any other country where you've had a African American president, where we have more African American billionaires, where women are freer than any other place. Like collectively, like they were true to the principles that rooted our country. So, if you say, oh yeah, like the flag, right? And your faith is in the flag, you're gonna miss the principles that are eternal and true, right? So those are the main differences when I say, principles or symbols, which is where your power source lies.
And you gave a great analogy about how a symbol could be a $200,000 car that a man uses to attract love. Now, is the abundance of wealth with flashy things, that again, that's the symbol, the principle being.
Yeah, so like in that example, I would say for money or wealth, right? The principle is abundance, right? Abundance being the feeling of of having more than what you ever need, right? That and it's an expanding feeling into infinity, right? So you can, so if you don't possess abundance when you have a little, it's hard to possess abundance when you have a not. Because we're talking about, uh, you know, the definition of rich people in the wealth management world, which is 25 million liquid, right? And how many rich people are so unhappy because their faith is in the symbol, meaning the wealth and the money, and so they accumulated money thinking that, oh, this feeling of insignificance that I have is going to be solved once I have money,
Right.
because their faith was in their power source was in the symbol, versus if their power source was in abundance, which is unlimited and always increasing and expanding into forever, right? No beginning, no end, right? Abundance is, hey, I'm wealthy now because I have everything I need today, right now, in this moment, and it's ever expanding into forever. So then as you get to 25 million, 100 million, if that's where your faith lied in the abundance, then it becomes easy to not like be like, oh, not confuse the wealth with who you are, right? And you won't use we talked about $200,000 car, like, once you get money, they say, oh, I got money. Like it's a whole lot of rich people living with strangers that married them for their money because that's how they attracted them. They pulled up in a $200,000 car,
Right.
with the $5,000 suit, spent 10 grand on a dinner, and are confused why they're married to somebody who lusted after their money, right? Versus for them. But that's the facade you presented.
And we talked about this just before going on this episode, that you posed the question, how many rich people out there are not happy?
And it's a lot.
And that,
I mean, how many do you? I mean, because we're both around. I think TV and the internet presents a false picture of people in general, but definitely like wealthy people. I got friends that say, "Oh man, are wealthy people more moral than other people?" No, like they probably have more problems because they place their faith. Like when you're rich and you have money, it's even harder to have faith in principles because the money can temporarily solve, your perceived problems. Meaning like law doesn't apply to you when you have money.
mm-hmm.
You can buy influence, which is different than respect, right? You can buy influence through fear and greed, right? But you can't get respect. You can buy lust, but you can't get love, right?
Right.
You can buy acquaintances, people to be around you, bodies to be around you, but you can't buy friendship, But it appears that way, and you can fool yourself for a long time, right? Until you wake up one day and go, "Oh, this is all for nothing," and you kill yourself, which is, I mean, a lot of wealthy people who appear to have a lot off themselves because their faith was in the symbols, not the principle.
Do you think Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, do you think they're happy?
I don't know. I don't know them. I try not to, I try not to give a perspective on somebody, that I know. What I can say is, looking back at people's actions, you can tell in that moment, where their energy, was. So I like to use the example of, I don't want to go to specific examples, but you
Okay.
can, yeah.
All right. Is it possible for someone to possess both principles and symbols?
So can they have faith in, so like everything that we have is a symbol.
Yeah.
So if you it's where you have faith. So can you have faith in the symbol and the principle? It's probably a question. And no, like you can't have two cooks in the kitchen, right? I think there's a I like the verse that I used on the last podcast, but it's basically, you can't have faith in two powers at once. And it's very similar to a magnet, right? If you have a magnet, it only works where the north side attracts the south side, but
Right.
two north sides repel each other,
Right.
right? So you can't have faith in two powers at once. So no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate, which means repel the one, and love, attract the other, or you will be devoted, which is attract to the one, and despise, which means repel the other. You cannot serve both good principles and symbols. It says God and money, but it's saying good principles
Yeah.
and symbols. Time-tested truth in the good book.
Can I change the subject?
Absolutely.
Got big plans for Memorial Day?
So we are cooking some barbecue with the family. I'm blessed to be in a family full of cooks. I love when we have cooking get together. So we're doing that.
But not two cooks in the kitchen at the same time.
No, they all cook different things in their own kitchen, you know. So that's what. And then Saturday, just hang out time. I got a friend coming in out of town to hang out. We're gonna rough each other up in the gym doing Muay Thai for a little bit. That's what old bros do.
Yeah. If someone wanted more information about symbols, principles, abundance, and just financial advice in general, how can they reach out to Phillip Washington Jr.?
My podcast is a good source, which is on my website, stonehillwealthmanagement.com. That's stonehillwealthmanagement.com. I also post inspirational stuff daily on my Instagram page, Ask Phillip.
I enjoy our conversations as metaphysical as they get. We're not talking dollars and cents here. We're today from the heart. We're talking faith
From the heart. I appreciate you. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.